Hey everyone, have you ever experienced the kind of betrayal that cuts so deep it reshapes your entire existence? That's exactly what happened to me, and it involves my younger brother Kevin, who destroyed my marriage, stole my wife Emma, fathered my child, and then had the audacity to come crawling back for help after our parents cut him off and left me their $1.8 million estate. I'm David Martinez, and this is the story of how everything I thought I knew about family came crashing down. Stay with me, because the ending will shock you. Growing up in Phoenix, I was always the overlooked child in our household. My younger brother Kevin was Mom Patricia's obvious favorite. She'd make his bed, pack his lunches, and even pressure me to help him with his school projects because brothers look out for each other. I was the bookish one who preferred solitude and studying. Kevin was everything I wasn't: outgoing, athletic, just like our father Carlos. I didn't mind being his helper initially. I was naturally independent. But Kevin never reciprocated. He'd only seek me out when he needed cash or favors. When I needed support, he'd brush me off with a joke. This was just the beginning of a pattern that would eventually destroy our family. As we grew older, Kevin's treatment of me became increasingly vicious, far beyond normal sibling rivalry. He'd ridicule my braces, my skinny frame, anything to humiliate me. One time, he invaded my privacy by reading my personal journal, then ran to Mom with complaints about what I'd written. When I confronted him, our parents dismissed it with boys being boys. But his cruelty went further. He'd contaminate my meals with sand, damaged my glasses multiple times, and once, I kid you not, mixed small stones into my breakfast cereal. I spotted it just before chewing, narrowly avoiding dental damage. When I reported this to Mom, she actually chuckled, saying that's just brotherly love. Love? Really? At Roosevelt High, things escalated. I was already dealing with bullies, and instead of defending me, Kevin joined their ranks, calling me metalmouth and weakling while encouraging their harassment. During one heated argument, he told me I should just end it all. I was battling depression at the time, and those words hit like a knife. But even that wasn't Kevin's lowest point. Something far more dangerous was approaching. During our junior year, Kevin's behavior reached a terrifying new level. One afternoon, he attempted to light my hair on fire, claiming it was just fooling around. Mom defended him as usual, insisting he was just being playful. I was livid, but finally Dad intervened. He recognized how serious the situation had become and threatened to involve the police. For once, Kevin looked genuinely frightened. He wasn't accustomed to facing real consequences. Dad later apologized privately for allowing the abuse to continue for so long. He admitted he'd hoped Kevin would mature naturally, but realized he was becoming a genuine menace. Hearing Dad acknowledge this felt like a huge relief. He signed me up for martial arts training at the community center, encouraging me to defend myself. As a studious kid, the concept of me fighting seemed absurd, but I committed fully to the training. Those sessions transformed me. I became physically stronger and more self-assured. Then, Kevin pushed me past my breaking point. He stole money I'd earned from household chores, cash I'd been saving for weeks. When I caught him red-handed, he sneered, claiming I'd just go crying to Daddy. Something inside me exploded. I landed a solid punch to his face. He collapsed, sobbing, and I reclaimed my money. Mom was horrified, lecturing me about setting a proper example. But Dad, he told Kevin he was fortunate I hadn't done more damage. That confrontation changed our dynamic, but the real catastrophe was yet to come. After graduation, I left for UCLA on an academic scholarship. It was pure liberation, free from Kevin's constant harassment. I could finally exist peacefully. During my sophomore year, I met Emma at a fraternity mixer. We connected immediately. She was compassionate, hilarious, everything I'd ever wanted. Our relationship progressed quickly, and when she became pregnant in our senior year, we chose to marry right after graduating. Our ceremony was intimate but beautiful, and for a while, I believed I'd discovered true happiness. Emma was my everything, and when our daughter Lily was born, I felt utterly fulfilled. I brought her home to meet my family, hoping they'd welcome her warmly. Kevin, typically distant with me, was surprisingly friendly toward her, which I interpreted as progress. Emma wanted to belong, so she spent time with Mom and even invited Kevin to join our activities, hoping it might repair our relationship. I didn't think twice when they'd play video games together or have long conversations. I was simply glad to see her bonding with my family, but I was completely oblivious to the deception happening right under my nose. 4 months ago, my universe collapsed. Emma sat me down and revealed she'd been unfaithful a prolonged affair. Worse still, she said Lily, the daughter I'd been raising for years, might not be biologically mine. I felt like someone had ripped my heart from my chest. When I demanded details, her tone was eerily detached, as if my anguish meant nothing to her. Eventually, she revealed the devastating truth. Her affair partner was Kevin, my own brother. She explained it began years earlier, during a Christmas visit when she stayed at my parents' house. Kevin had been flirtatious, sharing sob stories about a recent breakup, and things just happened. She insisted it was a one-time mistake, but then admitted they'd been meeting secretly at motels, fabricating business trips, for years. When I asked why she married me if she wanted him, she said I was the stable choice, a good father figure for Lily. Stable? That word felt like acid. I packed my belongings and left that night, despite her pleas to stay, claiming Lily needed me. But I couldn't remain in a marriage founded on deception. And the most painful part, I had no idea if Lily was actually my child. What happened next would tear my family apart completely. I drove straight to my parents and revealed everything: Emma's infidelity, Kevin's betrayal, the paternity uncertainty. Mom refused to accept it, insisting Kevin would never hurt me like that. I asked them to remain silent while I called Kevin on speaker. When I confronted him over the phone, he initially denied everything, but when I mentioned Emma's confession, he turned vicious, calling her horrible names and boasting that he couldn't help being irresistible to women. I threatened to expose him to everyone we knew. He laughed arrogantly, claiming no one would believe me because he was the favorite son. But he didn't realize Mom and Dad were listening to every word. When Mom demanded an explanation, he fumbled, trying to blame Emma entirely. Dad grabbed the phone and unleashed on him, saying he destroyed our family's trust and betrayed everything we stood for. He immediately cut off Kevin's financial support: no more tuition money, no more allowances. Mom, though conflicted, finally saw Kevin's true nature. For the first time in my life, I felt truly heard and supported. But the consequences were far from over. A week later, Dad informed me he was revising his estate plan. He and Mom had spent decades building their wealth, accumulating nearly $1.8 million in property, investments, and life insurance. He decided to bequeath everything to me, leaving Kevin only $1 to prevent legal contests. If Dad died before Mom, she'd retain the right to live in their home, but I'd inherit all other assets. I was speechless. $1.8 million would completely transform my life, but it came at the price of our family's destruction. When Kevin learned about the will change, probably through Mom, he called me in desperation. He claimed he was buried in debt, couldn't afford his remaining tuition, and Emma was demanding child support after a paternity test proved Lily was his daughter. He begged me to intercede with our parents to help him make things right. I actually laughed out loud. After years of torment, bullying me, seducing my wife, fathering my child, he expected me to rescue him? I told him he was dead to me and to never contact me again. But there's one final revelation that will leave you stunned. It's been several months since that conversation, and I'm slowly rebuilding my existence. The divorce has been finalized, and the DNA test confirmed Lily isn't my biological daughter. It shattered my heart. I loved that little girl like she was my own blood. But I've had to accept the painful reality and focus on moving forward. The inheritance came through after Dad passed away last month. Mom decided to move to a smaller place, and I now have access to the $1.8 million estate. It's bittersweet gaining financial freedom while losing the family I thought I knew. Kevin has tried reaching out through mutual friends, claiming he's learned from his mistakes and wants to make amends. Some people think I should forgive him. That family is family. But after everything he put me through, from childhood bullying to stealing my wife and daughter, I know some bridges are meant to stay burned. I'm using part of the inheritance to start fresh in Seattle, far from all the painful memories. I've started therapy, joined a hiking group, and I'm even considering dating again when I'm ready. Kevin lost everything: his college funding, his family's respect, and now he's stuck dealing with Emma and child support on his own. Sometimes I wonder if I should feel sorry for him, but then I remember all those years of torment, all the nights I questioned my worth because of his cruelty. The truth is, Kevin created his own hell, and for the first time in my life, I'm finally free from his shadow. Some people call it revenge, but I call it justice. What do you think? Did Kevin get what he deserved, or should family loyalty have won out? Let me know in the comments below.